In this video, we're going to learn how to find the GCF and LCM. Remember, you're supposed to be writing down everything that's in this video in your notes. So if you need a second to catch up, you should pause or rewind if needed. We're going to start with the greatest common factor. We call the greatest common factor the GCF. Now, if you recall from a video previous to this, a factor is a number that multiplies to give you a given number. So, for example, the factors of 6 are 1 times 6 and 2 times 3. So we're finding the greatest number, the biggest number that will go into two given numbers. So again, the greatest common factor is the biggest number that will go into multiple given numbers. So there's a lot of ways to do this, but we're going to first start with just writing factors and finding a common one. So if I give you the numbers 36 and 48, and I want to find the greatest common factor, I want to find the biggest number that goes into both of these, I'm just going to list all the factors of 36 and 48. So 36 is 1 and 36, 2 and 18, 3 and 12, 4 and 9, and then 6 times 6. I'm going to do the same thing for 48. 1 and 48, 2 and 24, 3 and 16, 4 and 12. And I can actually stop right there because when I look at the numbers I have, I see that 12 goes into both of those numbers. So 12 is the biggest number that goes into both 36 and 48. So the GCF of 36 and 48 equals 12. It is a factor of both of those numbers. Okay. Now we're going to look at least common multiple. Least common multiple, or LCM, is different. Factors go into numbers. Multiples are numbers that they go into. So we were talking about 6 before. The factors of 6 are 1 and 6 and 2 and 3. The multiples of 6 are 6, 12, 18, 24, etc., etc. So when we're finding the least common multiple, what you're looking for here is the smallest number that all given numbers go into. So these answers will be bigger than the numbers that you're given. So let's use the same two numbers that we had. If we work it with 36 and 48, if I'm finding the least common multiple, I have to write all of the multiples of 36. So I start with 36, because 36 times 1 is 36. 2 times 36 is 72. 3 times 36 is 108. Now you're going to have to do some calculations when you do this. 4 times 36 is 144. 5 times 36 is 180. You just got to keep going as far as you think. And then try the other number for a little while and go back and forth if you haven't found one yet. 48, I'll try 48 now. 1 times 48 is 48. 2 times 48 is 96. 3 times 48 is 144. And when you look now, you can actually stop because you have found a number that they both go into. This is the smallest number that both 36 and 48 go into. So the LCM is 144. So you can do that anytime you have a pair of numbers. It's kind of like having two separate problems, though, because in one of them you have to find all the factors, and in the other one you have to find all the multiples. There is actually a way to do GCF and LCM all within one problem, and it's a consistent way to solve them, and you work with smaller numbers, and that is by using prime factorization. This is actually my favorite way to find GCF and LCM. It may seem like it takes longer, but in the end it's more consistent and I think easier to work with. So what you're going to do is you're going to use prime factorization like we've learned already. So we're going to make factor trees for both of the numbers, and then we're going to work with the prime factors to find both GCF and LCM. So let's start with 36. 36, I'm going to do 6 times 6. Neither of those are prime. 6 is 2 times 3. Both of those are prime. And the other 6 is 2 times 3. And both of those are prime. So prime factorization of 36 is 2 times 2 times 3 times 3. Remembering you need to write them in order from smallest to greatest. We'll do 48. 48, I'm going to do 6 times 8. 6 is 2 times 3. Both of those are prime, so I'm going to circle them. 8 is 2 times 4. 2 is prime, so I'm going to circle that. And then 4 is 2 times 2. Both prime. So it's 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. And I'm going to go back and make sure I did that right. I had 1, 2, 3, 4 2s, and then the 3, just to make sure that I did it right. Okay, so then what you're going to do is you're going to take those prime factorizations and you're going to line them up. So 36 was 2 times 2 times 3 times 3, and 48 was 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. To find the GCF, you need to circle the common primes. And I want you to write that down to be able to solve this. So again, GCF, you're going to circle common primes. And multiply. So if I look here, what's common to both 36 and 48? 2 and 2 are common. Another 2 and 2 are common. And a 3 and a 3 are common. You can't circle the 2 2s that are in the 48 because it's not one in each number. So it says circle the common primes and multiply. So then to find the GCF, you are going to multiply one number for each pair. So this pair of 2s is 1 2 times this pair of 2s is another 2 times this pair of 3s is a 3. You multiply 2 times 2, which is 4, and 4 times 3, which is 12. So the GCF equals 12. And you'll notice in our first example, at the beginning of these notes, we found it to be 12. The LCM, you use the GCF to find the LCM. And I'm sorry this page is going to be cluttered with notes. I hope you're spreading it out on yours. The LCM is found by multiplying the GCF times everything that was left over. So the GCF times everything that's left over. So the LCM is 12. You got that from here, circle to 12. That's your GCF. Times what's left over. Well, if I look up here, the leftovers, I'm going to get, are all, oops, didn't do so good. These numbers right here, the 3, the 2, and the 2. So it's 12 times 2 times 2 times 3. So the GCF times the leftover. I know that 2 times 2 is 4, times 3 is 12. So that's the leftover. I'm going to take that 12 times the original 12. 12 times 12 is 144. So you see that the GCF is 12 and the LCM is 144. It's exactly the same answers as the way we did it before. It's just you used the GCF to find the LCM. Now I want you to try one of these on your own and then come back and watch the video. We are going to do the numbers 20 and 30. Okay, so try that out and then come back. Okay, so you should check your prime factorizations for 20 and 30, making sure that you got 2 times 2 times 5 for 20 and 2 times 3 times 5 for 30. If not, you should go back and fix that right now. If that is what you had, let's look at how to find the GCF and LCM again. So 20 was 2 times 2 times 5, and 30 was 2 times 3 times 5. We have to circle commons for the GCF, and the 2 is common and the 5 is common. So I know the GCF is 2 times 5, because those are the two common numbers, which is 10. That's my GCF. The LCM is the GCF 10 times the leftover numbers. My leftover numbers are 2 times 3. And I know that 2 times 3 is 6, and 6 times 10 is 60. So you should have had 10 as your GCF and 60 as your LCM. Okay, now's the time for you to practice. Move on to what is assigned for this section.